Sedans are coming back into vogue, and it's obviously headed by this, the new 5th generation Honda City. But two questions that we have to ask here. Is the City still the benchmark in the segment? And more importantly, is the naturally aspirated Honda engine still relevant against the new wave of turbo petrol engines, especially the new 1 litre TSI in the Volkswagen Vento? Let's find out. This is a battle of cultures. A Japanese naturally aspirated sweet revving petrol compared to a European downsized turbocharged motor. Both deliver more or less the same power. The torque obviously is more in the turbocharged engine. To be honest, revving a naturally aspirated engine, there is still nothing like it. No matter how much work goes into turbocharged engines, but the rev happiness of a naturally aspirated engine is still something else. It is still special. And Honda, they do make some of the nicest, sweetest motors. I remember when I started writing about cars, every single story would have the words, Honda, maker of the best engines in the world. Obviously, they too are making turbocharged engines, but in India, we've got only the NatAsp engines, and it still is a beauty. A real beauty. An engine such as this, it does two things. It gives you excellent refinement, which a turbo engine cannot match, no way. And it also encourages you to drive like a hooligan when you're in the mood for it. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. What it does not deliver is effortless performance. It's not like you can stick it in 6th gear and it'll just go on and on. No, you have to work the engine, use the gearbox, use the revs. Not that it takes much effort, it does put a big smile on your face, but you really do have to work it. It rewards you if you put in the effort. And what a lovely gearbox. Still, no European, no German gearbox can match up to the Japanese sweet shifting gearbox. Now there's nothing really new about this Vento. It's the same platform, same dimensions, same interiors, but what's different is this engine, the new 1 litre TSI engine. And it's a brilliant engine. It's a winner of the International Engine of the Year awards. It's the same engine that's there in the Polo TSI, and it's a fantastic engine. Now in terms of the figures, it is around 10 bhp down on the City, but crucially it is 30 Newton meters up on the City, and that makes a difference, especially in the ease with which the Vento gets up to speed. This is effortless. On the expressway, you stick it in 6th gear and it just pulls and pulls without a problem. It's almost like an automatic. Even on the guard section, you can keep it in 6th gear and there is enough torque to ride you through almost anything. And when you want power, you step on it and this engine really does move. Now in terms of outright performance, will the Vento out-accelerate the City? That's something that we will find out. But in terms of the feel, the Vento definitely does feel quicker. It feels more enthusiastic. This engine can actually pin you in the back of your seat momentarily, but it can push you in the back of the seat. It's got that much oomph. Downsized, yet it's got more enthusiasm, and that I really like. Plus it's made it to this nice manual gearbox. The City's gearbox is slicker, I'll be honest about that. It's a slicker, nicer gearbox to use. The Vento, in terms of its handling, it is more enthusiastic. It feels more eager than the City, more eager to be thrown around corners, to be chucked around. If this were a straight up Vento versus City comparison test, well, there is no two ways about it. The City is the better car. The City is more spacious, it's got better seats, it's got a better infotainment, it's got a better cabin, it's got a better instrument console layout, it's got a sunroof, it's got more space at the back, more comfort. It really is the more modern car. But here, what we are focusing on is the turbo versus natural aspiration question. And that can only be sorted out with a straight up drag race. So 10 bhp down, 30 newton meters up, no traction control to switch off. Let's see which is quickest. I'm in the Vento, Anirudh is in the City, and no better way to find out whether the turbo engine can beat the naturally aspirated engine than a straight up quarter mile drag. So immediately the Vento pulls ahead, and at launch itself it pulls a 1 car length gap, and that holds for the rest of the run. So in the launch itself, the Vento, because of its extra torque and lower gearing, it pulls out a bigger advantage, and that advantage carries on through the rest of the run. 1 car length ahead of the City is the Vento. These turbo engines are really quick. So we started this test with 2 questions. Is the City still the segment benchmark? And the answer to that is for sure. The City is more modern, it's got more space, it's got more equipment, and you will be happier with it. The second question, natural aspiration versus turbocharging. And for that, the answer is turbo, yeah! This TSI engine is more fun, it's more enthusiastic, it's got better bottom end, it's got better top end, and it'll put a far wider smile on your face. If you are looking for the thrill of driving, TSI for sure. Subscribe to the Evo India channel and hit the bell icon to keep pace with the thrill of driving.